You're listening to Storage Nerds Podcast, where we unravel the best-kept secret of the real estate investing world, the storage industry. Join the grassroots guru in self-storage, Stacy Rossetti, in insightful discussions about finding, funding, and running these spaces, allowing you to yield the highest returns possible. Get your foot in the door on self-storage and discover how to properly purchase facilities, negotiate with sellers, and close the deal without worries. Start unpacking that investment wisdom with Stacy right now.
Today, we are going to talk about like the one thing that probably nobody wants to talk about, right? Which is your business goals and like setting up your goals for 2022. I thought this would be a good topic because actually I've been, thinking about this a lot. I actually start working on my business goals. I start those in October. I do all my business goals for 2022 in October of every year, because I'm one of those types of people that I don't like to procrastinate and get everything, done at the last minute. So we already have like all of 2022 planned out pretty much. I'm working on finalizing our traveling because as most of you know, we live in an RV and we travel full time. So that's the final thing that I have not finalized yet, which is traveling. But I'm working on that now and trying to get that all planned out. We are going to have such a great 2022. I have a lot of awesome things planned for business. I'm pleased to announce that we actually have 2 storage facilities under contract as of right now, and a third one that should be under contract this week. And a fourth one that we're working on right now to see if we can work the numbers out as well too. So I'm going to tell y'all for 2022, we got it down. We can be buying some storage facilities, right? And I am super, super excited about that. I have a great acquisitions person. His name is Chris, and he is working hard at finding us deals. And the way that we fund our deals, right? The way that we fund our deals that's my job. I'm always raising money. And so that's kind of my job. And I will be pitching two properties, one this week and one next week that we have under contract. So if you're interested in listening to those pitches, right, or if you're interested in working together, then you should definitely hop on those calls. I'm going to be emailing that out here in the next day, probably in the next day. We're going to email it out, so you guys will see an email from me on the deal. And if you're not on my email list, what you should do is go to stacyrossetti.com and click on the investor tab. And that is how you can get on my email list. Okay. So anyways, what we're going to talk about today is your storage investing business goals. I know a lot of you guys are newbies. We're in Storage Nerds. The doors are open for Storage Nerds right now. So if anybody's interested in that program, but what I want to talk about tonight is trying to set up your goals for 2022 in the storage investing world. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through my super simple self-storage 6-step concept, right? The 6-step system. A lot of you guys know about this, but if you don't know about it, essentially it's my 6 steps, the 6 steps that I teach on how to get started in storage investing. We're going to go through that. And then what your job is to go to the Facebook group. I'm going to show you how to do that right now. Hopefully everybody is in the Facebook group. If you're not in the Facebook group, you need to go to Facebook, right? .com, Facebook, and then type in storagenerds.com. And that will take you to the Facebook group. You want to join it because there is a page, and a good Ariel and just put it into the chat for everybody that's here. And it's facebook.com/groups/storage nerds. That's the name. That's the link to the Facebook group. And in there, so we'll go there real fast, under the guides template, let me see, is the page that we're going to be using. So storagenerds.com. And that is the template that we're going to be using. So if you guys want something to use to take notes, to write down essentially the 3 most important things from each of these steps that you should be working on right now. And that is what we're going to be working on for today. From my 6-step system, what are, out of each of the 6 steps, what are the 3 things that you should be working on in order to move yourself forward? That is the goal. That's the topic of tonight. So you're going to want to go to guides, right? And then under guides, you're going to see all the guides. And then let's see, where is it? Click here for the guide. Where are you? Template. Oh, maybe it's like somewhere else. Where is it, Ariel? Oh, here it is. Goals worksheet. Goals worksheet. The 2022 storage and investing goals worksheet. All right. And then you could share your goals here if you want to. After it's done, put it out there to the world, hold yourself accountable. And I want to see if anybody actually fills this out. All right. We can all hold each other accountable. So here is what it looks like. Right. And then you can print this out. And then essentially it's just the 3 most important things that I should be working on right now within each of the departments of my storage investing business. Right. And then I could put those here now. And then you can have this sheet that you can put on the wall. Right. Because I'm like a very visual person. Right. And you could put this on the wall and you can use it as like your manifestation tool for 2022. Does anybody here believe in manifestation? Yeah. All right. So I'm a big like manifestation person. When I first got started in real estate investing, I did my organizational chart and I put like me at the top. And then of course, all the departments of my business. And then I put like me. Right. So I was running everything. It was just me. Right. And then as I started growing, whenever I could replace myself with somebody else in that department, right, then I would like put a new organizational chart up, right? And it would be like, so if I got like for the first person that I bought, the first person I got was the office admin person. And so then I changed my name and I put Sarah because the first person I hired to manage was Sarah. I was like so excited. I was like, yeah, that's one of my departments gone, right? And then I would say like, okay, now I'm going to start focusing on my other departments, right? Because the only thing really that I want to do is find money. That's it. That's what I'm good at. I mean, and everybody, in all of those 6 departments that you see there on the sheet, which one are you? I would love to know which one are you good at? Like, what's the one that sticks out to you? Are you like the office admin, back office person? Are you the marketing person? Are you the acquisitions person? Are you the finance person, the management person? Or are you like the liquidations person? Me personally, I am the money person. I'm the finance person. I love talking about money. I love strategizing about money, creative deal structuring. That's what I love. Out of all of these departments here, right? As a self-storage investor, as a real estate investor, these are your 6 departments in your business. Which of these, and it could be 1 or 2, maybe I might be marketing, I might be acquisitions, or something like this. Which of these departments sticks out to you? Put it into the chat and let me know so I can see. Okay. All right. So I see here, I'm the acquisitions person. Andre is the finance, Andre. Yeah. Andrew's the finance office person. I love it. Okay. Jennifer, management. All right. Who else? What else? We got some management. Oh, so there's a lot of people here like, no, I'd like to manage. Awesome. I love it. So put those into the chat. If you kind of have a feeling of what once you start getting up and running, what your end goal is going to be. This is your end goal. Okay. All right. So I see finance is coming up. All right, good. I love it. Okay, so what we're going to do today is we're going to pull that sheet up, or you can draw. You can also draw this out if you just want to draw it, right? But Guy says finance too. Yeah, I'm a finance person. And then what I'm going to just share my screen. All right. And then for everybody that's listening in on the podcast and stuff like this, then you guys can always just go to stacyrossetti.com and click on blog in order to see the video, or you can find us on YouTube as well. Okay, so now we have the departments. Let's go through the 6-step system and let's get you guys 3, whatever speaks to you, all right? The 3 most important things that you should be working on right now in order to move forward. And everybody's in a different place. Everybody's in a different journey. So whatever speaks to you is what's working, okay? All right, so the very first thing that you should be doing is setting up your office admin, right? And getting, when I say office admin, I'm talking about, let me see, office admin. Okay. I'm talking about like what you need to set up in order to like start looking for deals, right? That's what I'm talking about, office admin. This is a very first step in the process. So for me personally, in order to get started, what I envision that everybody needs is, first of all, a phone, right? You need a phone or a phone number that you can use to receive calls and make calls. Now, whether or not you use your own personal number or you have like a business line or whatever it is, I personally, in my life, I have like my own personal number, and then I have like a business line, and then that business line is only a Google Voice line, and then I'm just using that for all my business stuff, and then all my family and friends, they all know my personal number, okay, stuff like this. So, but you need to have some sort of a phone or phone number that you can use, because when you start really getting into looking for facilities, you're going to be like calling, leaving voicemails, sending out letters, texting, things like this. And so you want to have that kind of like, you want to separate your business from your personal life, okay? You also really need some sort of like way to manage everything on your phone. And so that's why I said phone and phone number. So you want to be like, is it called electronic? I don't know what it's called right now. Virtual. So what I do is I manage everything in the cloud, right? So what we have, and I think we've posted this out before, is like the most important apps, my personal most important apps that I have on my phone or that I use on a regular daily basis in my business. I am using Google Drive all the time. Everything that I use is Google Drive. Now, whether or not you use Google Drive or Basecamp or Dropbox or whatever you use, is the way that you want to do that. But you want to have something set up so that you can find files on your phone, and you can find files like on your desktop really easily, but especially on your phone when you're out and about. Okay, so cloud, right? So Google Drive is what I do. But I also use Google Photos, and whatever you use to manage your photos, because see, what happens is once you start really getting out there and looking for facilities, it's also in the residential side when you're looking at houses, like every facility starts to look exactly the same. Really, it does. Like when I'm out and like talking to owners and looking for storage facilities, like every facility looks the same. And we have, the way that it works for us in our company is, if I'm out and I find a storage facility, I'm like, oh, that's a good storage facility, I want to call it, and like I want to see if the owner wants to sell. We take a picture of that facility, and then we also like take a picture of the sign. We take a couple of pictures, and then we also use Landglide to like look up like the information on the property, right? That's right. And I just talked to Jennifer today, and she's a student of Storage Nerds, and she says she uses an app called Parcels, which is free. So I'm like, oh, we should try that one too. But so I'm going to check out Parcels if anybody else has ever used Parcels before. I don't know what the difference between Landglide and Parcels is, but Landglide is like my best friend in the whole world. Like everything that we do desktop and on the phone is through Landglide. I am looking up everybody's information no matter where I'm at. I want to know who owns which property in an area in a 3-mile radius for me, right? So even here, like in New York, thank you, Parcel, Jennifer, in a 3-mile radius, like I'm here in New York at like my father-in-law's house. I'm here and I'm like looking and seeing who owns all the properties, what do they all sell for? And I'm doing that all through Landglide is what I'm doing. So all public data on every single property is through Landglide. Okay. And so when I'm out and driving, I'm using Google Photos to store all my pictures. And what I do is I create albums, right? Albums in Google Photos. And that album will be titled like, Austin, Texas, like 9/22/21 or something like this, right? Or like wherever I'm out driving for storage. So we create these folders in Google Photos. And then what I do in Google Photos is I share that album with my acquisitions person. So I love Google because like everything can be shared within Google Drive. We share all of our sheets and files and documents. Google Photos I can share with everybody on my team, and then they can come in and see all my photos or whatever photos we want to share, right? So that's kind of why I stick to Google. But what I'm saying is that it is now the 21st century. It's 2022. Let's be virtual. Let's be electronic. Let's be like in the cloud. Let's start getting into the habit of running your business from your phone, right? That's what you want to do. Can you run your business from your phone? Because ultimately, in the end, your goal is to own properties that are buy and hold properties, and you want to have them as passive as you possibly can, right? And the only way that you can do that is if you start creating those habits now. And I'm telling you, all the storage facilities that I've ever bought, they have no idea what I'm talking about right now. Okay. So let's be like totally virtual, and let's start that habit now. Is anybody here like, no, I'm curious that everybody's that's listening. Is anybody here on like not on Google Drive or in the cloud? And they're like, no, I still do paperwork. I'm still like old school, right? Those are the people that I'm talking to that are just like total old school. You need to be in the cloud and be able to manage your business from your phone, right? The phones are awesome nowadays. I mean, they can like totally manage everything. You got to start taking advantage of that. Okay. Another thing about Office Admin that I'm not going to get into, but I will get into this into our boot camp on the 22nd and 23rd of January, is structuring your business, right? Structure business. How do you really structure your buy and hold company, your buy and hold companies or your buy and hold properties, so that you are protected, right? So LLCs and like, is it LLC? Is it S corps? Do you do land trust? All this kind of stuff, right? So I'm not going to get into that because first of all, like that's not really my true expertise. And secondly, my husband kind of handles that all for us, and he loves teaching that. And so that is that's part of Office Admin. Have you structured your businesses correctly so that if you do come across a property that you want to put under contract, you are not putting it under contract in your own name? You don't want to do that. All right. So that comes under Office Admin as well, too. All right. Let's see what else. So there's a whole bunch of that's like a good start for Office Admin. Okay, that's kind of the good start for that. Let's do the next step. So now we're setting up our business, right? We're getting everything on the back office kind of set up so that we can start taking calls. The next step is going to be getting the marketing going, getting your marketing, right? And so within marketing, what you're going to be focusing on is, I mean, there's a lot of different ways for you to find facilities. So that's the question. How are you going to find your facilities? Personally, for me, everybody knows I drive for storage. That's my favorite way, driving for storage. Of all the different ways, if anybody here has ever tried to find storage facilities to purchase, what is your one favorite way that you find your facilities? My favorite way is driving for storage. What's your favorite way? If you could put it into the chat and let me know, that would be great. I would love to hear that as well too. You can call property owners, right? Call them. Right, I mean, you have to call them anyways, right, to talk to them. You can go on Crexy. You can go on LoopNet. You can go on the MLS, okay? Now, I personally do not prefer these ways because it's so expensive. I've never, ever bought anything off of Crexy, LoopNet, and only the very first deal that I ever find was on the MLS. And that was like 5 years ago, almost 5 years ago, when like nobody wanted to buy storage facilities anyways, right? So, and it had been on the market for 5 years. Now it's hard to find any properties on the MLS. They just as bad as like Crexy and LoopNet. So that's one way that you can do it. You can also like use Google Maps, right, to find properties, right? Just search near me, and then you can find all the storage facilities near you, and you can find the properties and you can call them, right? And also you want to find the hidden, that's hidden market. All right. The hidden market is the facilities that are not on Google Maps, right? That's the hidden market, is finding the facilities that are not on Google Maps. What you can do too is you can send letters. You can buy a list and send letters. Okay. And so that's a good handful of ways on how to find properties for marketing purposes. We have tried all of these, and actually we do all these, right? But mostly what we do is we call owners and drive for storage. Does anybody else have any other suggestions of ways to find storage facilities outside of these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 different suggestions? Now, in the boot camp, we go over 20 different ways for you to find storage facilities, but I wanted you to at least kind of get an idea of some of the ways that you can do it. And then what you want to do is you want to pick 3 ways, right? You don't want to sit there and say, I do all this, right? You want to pick 3 different ways to find storage. And then those are the 3 that are going to go onto your goals, your business goals for the marketing sheet, right? Okay. All right. Fine. So now we got our marketing going, right? We got our marketing going. It's like, okay, well, and then we start calling and talking to owners, and we start getting some people that want to sell. And now we have to put this thing under contract, right? So that falls under acquisitions. Under acquisitions includes, now you have to, first of all, fill out, get all the details that you need about the deal so you can analyze it. So you need to do deal analysis. Okay, so what that means under deal analysis is that you need to be asking these questions, typical questions. I'll give you just some of the questions that you have to ask. What are the total units? What's the total square footage? What's the unit mix? Is there any extra land? What's your annual income? What's your expenses? Actually, the truth is you really don't need to know their expenses. You really need to know what your expenses are. But some people feel that you need to know what their expenses are. You need to know like what the taxes are going to be. What do they pay in taxes? And then what are you going to be paying in taxes once you close on the deal? Because that deal may be valued differently, right? So they may be paying taxes on $200,000 and you're buying it for $400,000. So now it's going to get reevaluated and you're going to be paying taxes on $400,000, right? That's how it works. Okay, so there's a whole bunch of different questions that you need to be asking. Taxes, income, square footage, vacancy. I was going to put that down. Vacancy. Are they full? Are they not full? Right? There's a difference between economic occupancy and physical occupancy, right? Physical occupancy means like, yeah, I'm 100% full. I'm full. Okay, great. Well, we're 100% full in all our facilities, but how many people are actually paying? The paying occupancy is the economic occupancy. Okay, so we're 100% full, but we're only 89%, economic occupancy, something like that. Okay. All right. And then also you need to be able to put this thing under contract, right? So that means that you need a contract. You need some sort of a contract that you can use to make offers, to put offers in, or you need some sort of an LOI, right? Sometimes people do LOIs, some people do contracts. I've always ever just done contracts, Now, when you get into like huge big deals, right? Like they'll want an LOI. We're buying it's a $1 million facility, and the guy's like, we just put an offer in our contract, and the owner's like, where's the LOI? And I'm like, I don't do LOIs, I just put the contract in, let's just sign the contract, and he was like, where's the LOI? But I just told him we just do contracts is what we do. Let's see what else. So you need to put this under contract, and you need to learn how to fill the contract out properly. So within the contract, what you need to do is you have to learn how to negotiate the terms. So within acquisitions, one of the most important things that you can learn is how to negotiate the contract. And negotiation, right, is really what's going to make or break the deal, right? And from negotiation, it's really all about authenticity and vulnerability, right? Especially in the smaller deals. And when you get into like huge big deals, or like, not even 3 million, but I would say like maybe 5 million plus, it's a little bit different because it's a little different type of deal. But 3 million, like we just closed on a $3 million deal. And the owners were just like me and you, and they just were regular people that wanted to be heard and they wanted to know that you were going to be taking over their baby and like taking care of it. Right. So negotiation for me is all about connection, authenticity, vulnerability, and just really kind of listening and communicating in the right ways. I'm really, really excited about there's a guy named Jamie Miller, and what he does is he teaches the art of negotiation, and he is going to be coming to the Storage Nerds coaching program on January 18th. I'm so excited. So for everybody who listens to this a little bit later, they're going to have missed it. But like anybody that's a student of Storage Nerds, on January 18th, Jamie's coming, and that's all he's teaching is the art of negotiation for investors. And he focuses on investors and how to help you to talk to owners, talk to owners better, negotiate your contract terms, and really just kind of just learn how to really be better at like connecting with people. So I'm really, really excited about that. And so That's coming up. We have such amazing like guest speakers coming up. I'm so excited. Okay, so negotiation is key. So we have deal analysis, we have like learning how to do deal analysis. And this is, this is commercial real estate investing. Okay, so in commercial real estate investing, you have to learn how to run deal analysis on commercial property. And within the commercial real estate investing realm, you'll have multifamily, you'll have retail, you have storage, you have a whole bunch of different kinds of commercial. The concepts are very, very similar. Once you learn how to run commercial deal analysis, you can really run commercial deal analysis on any type of deal. You just don't, you just have to learn for each of the types of niches what's typical in that niche, right? What's typical cap rate in like multifamily, what's a typical cap rate in retail, what's typical cap rate in storage, right? But the concept of commercial deal analysis is the same almost across the board. And I love that, because like I love storage and I'll always be like a storage person. But for instance, we just got a facility under contract. I'm so excited. And it is a storage facility plus commercial property that is like commercial mixed. It's like a mixed use, like property plus also like apartment, like an apartment complex. And so that is all like in one thing. So it's that, like when you look at a deal like that, and those kinds of deals come across your plate when you're out talking to storage facility owners. They own like a whole bunch of stuff that, they just want to sell all of it. It's all or nothing. And this one is kind of one of those deals where it's like a storage facility, then it's got like some different types of like rental property that they have, and commercial rentals. And then they also have like regular apartment. And so like, you have to learn. That's why I said with commercial deal analysis, we have to run the numbers on the apartment different from like the commercial retail space and different from the storage space. It's all kind of the same, but you can't run a commercial property like that at price per square foot. Because like in storage, it's all about price per square foot. But in the apartment, it's different. It's valued different, right? And then also in the retail space, it's valued different. So learning commercial deal analysis, when you start getting into it, is going to really open up the doors to all different types of commercial property, which is super exciting, right? So and learning how to do commercial deal analysis is really kind of the hardest part of the equation. But in the end, once you start really learning it starts clicking, right? It starts clicking. It opens up your world to so many other different types of properties out there. And the truth of the matter is that you just never know what's going to come across your plate. You just don't. So you want to be open to all types. Okay. All right. So we have commercial deal analysis. We have contract. We have negotiation. And then we have negotiation falls into making offers, right? Making offers, learning how to truly make offers, connecting, and then also making offers that make sense for the deal, right? And what I mean by that is like, you are not going to live in a box, all right? In the commercial world, you can't live in a box, right? You can't just have one way of thinking. You have to do what's called creative deal structuring. And with creative deal structuring, what that means is that you listen to what the owner's needs are, and then you compile an offer based on those needs, right? And so you can do things like make a cash offer, right? You make an offer. So this is my cash offer, or you might have to go to a bank. So that might be a little bit different kind of offer. Or you can do like owner financing and get them to be the bank, right? Or you can do things like bring equity partners in, right? And so based on the deal and what comes across your plate, there's just so many different ways to put the deal together that and to talk, and to get the owner to do something like this, you have to learn how to do each of those. So creative deal structuring and learning how to structure deals is imperative in the commercial real estate space. Because the thing is, and I say this all the time, commercial real estate is expensive. It's expensive, right? Little tiny deals, you could do a couple of these, right, yourself maybe. But like the truth of the matter is the meat is in the middle. Usually the meat's in the middle is what I say, even though I don't eat meat, right? So, but the meat's in the middle, or bigger, like way bigger deals, so you want to learn how to use other people's money in order to do a whole bunch of different kinds of deals, bigger deals, so you can make more money on the back end. Okay. I was just talking to a student before, and he was like, I want to make $150,000, passive income. And I said, okay, you have to break that down, all right, into like, how much is that going to be per month for every single month? And then you have to say, okay, now what type of facility is going to facilitate these types of deals for me, right? You could do one or two bigger deals, super big deals, or you could do like, a handful of like medium deals, or you could do like a whole bunch of little deals. And it really just up to you. There's no right or wrong way to do it. It's 6 one way, half a dozen the other. Some people just like to do like a couple of big deals. I have one student that's just like, no, I want to do like just a handful of like 5 million. Like I want to do like $5 million deals. And then I have students, and actually me personally as well too. Like we like smaller deals. Like that's just kind of what we do, and that's what we're good at. So like we just kind of focus on those. So the question is, what kind of deals are good for you? How can you leverage the people around you and other people's money in order to do the types of deals that you need to do, and and then to achieve the goals that you want, right? So the way that you do that in the commercial world is through creative deal structuring. So this, I would say, is a very, very important thing that you're going to be learning once you start really getting into commercial real estate. Okay, good. All right, so that's acquisitions. We're going to go into finance. My favorite thing is the money, right? And this is where you're going to learn how to raise money, right? This is all about raising money. So this, you can put creative deal structuring under this as well. Because creative deal structuring is like twofold. It's structuring the deal, right, on the acquisition side, and raising the money under the finance department. And both of those kind of work together, and they work at the same time. All right. There's somebody else, I think it was Jennifer earlier, that's like, what do I work on first? You work on both of them at the same time. You got to find the deal, and you got to get the deal under contract and structure it. And at the same time, you should be raising money. All right. And learning how to structure the deals. You can find private money lenders. That's a private money lender. So that's raising money. It's always getting out there and talking to people and seeing if they'd be interested in lending you the money or partnering with you on the deal, right? Lending or partnering. And in the previous podcast, webinar podcast that I just did, last session was all about private money and how to raise private money. So if you're interested, make sure that you check that out. And also, so learning how to raise private money, and then also utilizing, if you need to, hard money lenders. Right? Hard money lenders. These are all like lenders that will lend you money, but at a higher interest rate, right? But they're more like a bank concept. This one is called asset-based lending. Asset-based lending. So it's like bank lenders that lend on any type of facility, most any type of facility, but at a higher interest rate. And there are some out there, or there's definitely a lot of them out there. In fact, we have several that come and talk to our group Storage Nerds on a regular basis. And then you also have bank financing. And this is like, this could be either SBA or local bank. Okay. So SBA, and actually we have tomorrow, we have one of our SBA lenders that comes like every, like maybe 2 or 3 times a year. He comes to talk to the group. He's going to come and talk to Storage Nerds tomorrow, and he's going to give us an update on all the SBA loans that are out there, the rules, the regulations, and how you can do, what you should be looking out for SBA loans. That's going to be really good tomorrow. And then, or local banks, right? Local banks or SBA banks for income producing properties are perfect. So income producing property is like tomorrow. Not tomorrow. Income producing properties is money is like 75% or 75% or more full, right? If it's like 75% or less full, those are more kind of like mismanaged facilities. I would say 50 to 75% full is kind of like a gray area. Some banks will say no, like that's like not a good that's not a good deal for me. I'm not going to lend on that. But then like SBA, sometimes they say, yeah, we'll lend on that. So it's really kind of a gray area. And let's just see what happens over the next year with the banks. I really honestly think lending is going to get more and more difficult over the next years, right? I think that the recession is going to happen, and I think it's going to just be a little bit tougher to find money. Right. So, and they're going to want more down. Like, I mean, back in the day, you could do 10% down, and then it went to 15, and then it went to 20. Now it's 25% down. I have a student right now that's borrowing, like it's around 800,000 or so. And, he has to put 25% down. I mean, you know what I'm saying? So between 20 and 30%, it could go up to 30% with loans. And that's another reason why you want to learn how to raise money, right? You really want to learn how to raise money. Okay, good. All right. So this is, let me see what else. Creative deal structuring, private money lender, banks. But now when I say creative deal structuring, I didn't put this down, but owner financing, right? Owner financing is like part of creative deal structuring. So for instance, like right now we're about to get a facility under contract. Okay. And it's 217 units, and we're getting under contract for $1 million. It's not worth $1 million. It's probably worth like 600,000. So we're paying like way more over than what we should. And I mean, right now, because it's not making the income, I mean, it's like, I think it's like 30 to 40% full, and the owner just ain't into it. He ain't into it. So we were going to pay $1 million for it. But guess what? He's going to owner finance it to us. So his terms are $250,000 down. And he will owner finance it to us for 10 years at 5% interest, amortized over 20 years. Right? I mean, that's exact same loan that, like, I would go to a bank and get. That's exactly the same loan, right? And that's what I told him. Because he was like, he's like, would you be interested? And I didn't even bring it up because I was going to just put it into my fund. But he said, like, would you be interested in owner financing? And I said, well, yeah, but like, what are your terms going to be? Because I could just, go to a bank and get a loan. And he said, it'll just be the exact same terms that like a bank would do. And I said, okay, well, then I'll just owner finance it through. And so that I have to come up with $250,000 down, right? So, of course, I'm not going to pay that. All I do is just go out and find somebody to bring $250,000 into the deal, and then we partner on the deal. So I'm literally like no money into the deal. That's creative deal structuring. And then we'll just do a split, probably a 60-40 split where I get 60% and they get 40% because I'm the one that brought the deal and I should be making more money, right? And so, and then on the back end, I mean, that facility should be worth, it's worth at least $2 million, if not more, if not more. And so it'll take us a little while to get up to that point, but essentially, you know, in the next couple of years, we'll sell that and, you know, make $1 million and split it, right? That's a good deal. And I ain't putting no money into that deal. That is creative deal structuring. All right. That's creative deal structuring. And that is what you have to learn how to do in order to leverage. I mean, that's how I'm getting, we're on our 11th facility and we're going to be buying, you know, 3 more in the next, you know, couple months. That's how I do it. Okay. So that is finance. All right. Let's see what else. The next one. So now we got the money, honey, right? So now we're going to buy the facility because we found the money. Let's go to, let's buy the thing and let's manage it, right? Manage it. The management. The management part is the hardest part. Everybody's always like, how do you find them? How do you fund them? Nobody ever thinks about how you run the suckers. But the truth of the matter is that when you buy a storage facility, you are buying a retail business. And that retail business, if you don't run it properly, is going to be run to the ground. And then you're going to have a business that I buy in the next 3 to 5 years, which is exactly what happened to the one that I'm going to buy right now. The owner has 6 facilities that are kind of all right next to each other. And then he bought this other one that's like an hour away. These 5 facilities over here, he's doing well with those. And then that one that's like way out, he just don't want to do anything with that. And so he's running, I mean, basically he's running to, he said, like, he's like, I'm older. He's like, I don't feel like, you know, driving out an hour to go manage that thing. So, you know, and he's not online, he's not doing anything like proper, right? So managing it, and see, like all of our facilities are all over Georgia and Florida, and they're all within like 2, 3, 4 hours away from, 5, 6 hours away from us. So once you learn how to manage them virtually, just like you're running your business virtually, you can truly make these passive income. Right? So management equals passive income. Passive income is not like, you know, oh, I'm going to be netting $2,000 a month. Passive income is when you can live in an RV and travel full time and manage 11, you know, facilities. That's passive income. All right. Passive income is how you manage your facilities. Okay. And so, because a lot of people talk about passive income all the time. Oh, I'm doing passive income. I'm doing passive income. The truth of the matter is that do you have to be near that facility in order to manage it? If you do, then it's not passive income. All right. And I told my husband 2 years ago in 2019, I said, like, now we have to get to the point where we can step away and we can travel and spend time with Lillian and do the things that we want. So we have to focus on getting these all completely virtual. So in 2019, that's what we did. We really just like focused on just automating and systematizing everything. And then so that way this past year, we could go full time. Okay, so passive income, management equals passive income. Management equals train your tenants. Training your tenants to me means putting your foot down, right? Putting your foot down, running your business like a business, right? Not being one of those suckers that like lets your family come in and take 2, 3, 4 units. I have a student that has a storage facility and he's afraid to raise the rents. And I was like, you got to just rip the Band-Aid. I call that rip the Band-Aid. right? Ripping the Band-Aid means as soon as you buy that facility, you've got to just raise the rents, and then whoever wants to leave, leave, and get all the tenants in there that are going to follow your rules. And those people that are going to follow your rules fall under training your tenants. Okay, so you are going to run this like a business and not like a hobby. Okay, you are going to be completely electronic through your property management software. Okay, your property management software, you've got to get a good one. I tell this to everybody, cheap is not always better. Cheap is not always better. You want the software that has all the bells and whistles on it so that you can take advantage of all it has to offer so that you can completely automate instead of systematize everything, right? A lot of people go with the cheapest one and then they realize later that it was not the right decision. Luckily, we went with StoreEdge, and StoreEdge, I'm telling you, you can automate everything in StoreEdge, everything. And so you can automate. So electronic and then automation are key in order to manage everything and being completely virtual. So all of our facilities, there is no office anywhere. Our office manager and our customer service person, people, they are just out of their house. Our boots on the ground person is the only person that actually sees our facilities. We don't even see our facilities. Our boots on the ground person is the eyes and ears of our facility. And then our back office, our two back office people manage all of the automation and the property management. Okay. And then we do high level stuff is what we do. We do numbers and strategies and things like this and close. Like my husband, his job is to close the deal. Once we get it under contract, I find the money. His job is actually, my husband's job is onboarding. That's what he does. He's closing the deal, working with the attorney, and then working with the software company to really onboard everything. Once we onboard it, then our operations person takes over and manages it, and our customer service person answers the phone and tries to get the contract signed and stuff like this. But we are a lean, mean, self-storage and investing machine. That's what I call it. And that is all starts from the very first step, which is getting that back office set up and really setting up the foundations of your business so you can be completely virtual. Okay. Finally, liquidations. And in liquidations, what I mean is that, are you going to buy an income producing property, go to a bank and get a loan and just have that property and hold on to that property forever? Or are you going to hold on to it for a couple of years and you're going to sell it or, 1031 exchange it or owner finance it, right? So that's the question is like, do you buy and hold it? Do you 1031 exchange it? Do you owner finance it? Just like I'm about to buy a facility and he's owner financing it to me, we also are open to owner financing our facilities to other people when we are ready to sell them, right? Because owner financing is probably one of the best ways for you to make passive income. Passive income, remember, because you're just the bank, you're the lender, and lenders are the ones that make the money. Lenders are the ones that make the money in real estate. Okay. Okay. Owner finance, 1031, owner exchange, refi out, cash out refi is what I'm talking about. Cash out refi. You could refi or cash out refi. So this is part of liquidations, right? This is to the point where now it's up, it's running, it's making money. I got a P&L, I got a balance sheet. I can do this with it. And that's where you want to be. This is your end goal, right? You want to be in the position where you can say, I'm going to just hold on to this sucker. Or, you know what? I'm going to make a couple $100,000 on this deal. Let me 1031 exchange this thing into a bigger deal, right? Or, I really don't want to buy any more property. I'm tired of properties. I'm going to just owner finance this thing and just move on, right? Which is exactly what happened to one of the facilities I just bought. We closed like maybe a month ago. Because I asked the guy, I was like, why are you owner finance? I asked him, I said, would you owner finance? He said, yeah, I do. I want to owner finance it. And I said, why? He's like, I just don't want to buy no more properties anymore. I'm tired of property. And I was like, man, I want to be you when I grow up, And so, so that is where, this is the end goal. This is where you want to be. You want to be in a position where it's like, I have these options here. Okay. So those are your 6 departments, right? This is your end goal. This is where you want to be. Now, remember, the doors for storage nerds are open now. They're only open for the next couple of weeks, right? And if you're interested in joining Storage Nerds, you have to set up a call with us. You have to go to storagenerds.com and apply, and then set up a call with me, and then we can talk about whether or not the coaching program is good for you, is the right fit for you. And I hope you enjoyed this session. Again, this is like, what are the 3 things in every single one of my departments that I should be focusing on? So now that we've gone through all that, what I would love to hear from you is, what are what are your 3 things? Give me a couple of 3 things that you're like, look, I know now after listening to Stacy, I need to focus on this. Can you put that into the chat? I would like to, the chat for me. So I would like to know, what are your goals for 2022? I don't want to hear, I'm going to buy 6 facilities or whatever. I want to hear specific tasks. What are the next things that you need to be doing in order to move yourself forward in the next couple of weeks to make your owning a storage facility come to fruition? What are those goals? What are those tasks that you need to do? Kevin says, I have to first buy first storage first. Okay, so that is not what I'm asking. Everybody here wants to buy a storage facility. We all get that. What is the first thing? What is the next 3 things that you need to do in order to buy your storage facility? Right? What are the next 3 things? The next 3 things that I need to do in order to buy a storage facility is this. That's what I want. Okay. That's what I want to hear. Okay, good. So, okay, we got, get the PFS. Let me see. Hang on. Everybody's posting. I'm getting all swamped here. Okay. Get PFS and reschedule complete so that I'm ready when to find the first deal. What's the PFS? Tell me what that is. I'm not sure what that is. And reschedule complete. Okay. Reaching out to sellers. Okay, good. Thank you. Reaching out to sellers, setting up my company, organization, and setting up my company and organization, developing my management processes. All right. I love that. That is perfect. That's what I want to do. That's what I want to hear. Complete my zoning change. Okay, good. I love that. Somebody's in the process of doing a zoning so you could add more facilities or build. That's awesome. Set up the money in place, find a unit in a great location in the warm climate, put one under contract. Perfect. I love that. Okay, good. So you need to be like, I'm telling you, when it comes to goals, the more specific you are about what you need to do, like the more of a chance you're actually going to accomplish that. Gone are the days when you need to have 3 and 5 year goals. Like, who has time for that? Like, I need to have some goals to like get to the next step. I need to have goals to get me to the next deal, right? That's what I'm talking about. Okay. Also be able to finance it. Okay, good. So you're zoning and then finance your zoning. I got it. Personal finance, like a personal finance statement and real estate schedule. Oh, okay. Okay, good. Okay. So you're filling out your personal finance statement and all your schedule. Oh my gosh, that stuff is horrible to fill out, man, to put all that together. What she's saying is that she's probably trying to get a loan and she has to put all her information, her personal finance statement, and she's got to put all her personal information and all these forms she's got to fill out for the bank. Oh, so horrible. Okay, for me, that's horrible. The reason why is because we just all over the place. We got so many properties. So when somebody asks me to fill out my personal finance statement, I'm like, it's going to take me all week to do that. Okay. And get more letters out. Yes, exactly. Okay, learning management techniques so I'm not an idiot enough to purchase it. Okay, good. That is great. I'm glad that you brought that up because our boot camp that's coming up on the 22nd and 23rd is really like, it's going to be a lot about management. It's about a lot about management. So if you're there where you're like, look, I really need to just fine tune my management. So like one of my students right now, he has a facility under contract and he joined, he's in 90 days, he's got his facility under contract. And in his mind, he's like, he's still trying to wrestle with how the whole management process is going to work, right? So he's going to be perfect candidate for like the boot camp coming up as well too. And I get that because like when he first started, he had no idea how to even find a storage facility or analyze it or put it under contract. And now he's like, no, how is this whole management thing going to work, right? So if you're thinking that, you have to come to the boot camp on the 22nd, 23rd, because I'm telling y'all, we will walk through all that in the boot camp. Okay, locating a potential small off-market deals. Perfect. I love it. Know the numbers of units. Okay, good. Yes, that's important. Driving to small mom and pop shops and asking if they're open to sell, putting that hook out there. Yes, exactly. You have to talk to as many owners as you possibly can. Make a number. Like you say, look, like I tell my students, like you have to talk to 10 owners a week. You have to talk to 10 owners a week, not call 10 people, but talk to them. And the reason why is because when you call 10 owners, like maybe one is going to want to sell. You know what I'm saying? You can't just call 10 people because I'm telling you, storage facility owners do not answer the phone. All right. So you can't just call 10 people. You can't just try 10 times. You have to talk to them. That's how you count your numbers. And then select property management software. Good. Perfect. Not fun. Okay. Can you show them the guide with the goals and tell them, oh yeah, sorry. That's how I was getting the. Okay, good. All right. So then, so she's put the boot camp in. How much is the boot camp? The coaching program is $1,000 a month, $1,000 a month. All right. So I get it. It's an investment, right? But, so if you're really, truly like, like I'm going to do this, like this is it. Those are the people that I want to talk to. If you're like, I'm not going to spend $1,000, it's not my thing. Don't even set an appointment up with me, right? Because I want to talk to people that are actually going to take action. Okay. The funds, find the funds, wife funds the seller. Okay, yeah, find the funds, wife side, fund the seller. Perfect. And on the fourth of my list to complete my presentation side for acquiring private lenders. I love that. Yeah, you got to do that. Put your presentation together, learn how to set up a trust, drive for storage. Perfect. Good. You guys all have some awesome goals. Awesome goals. All right. And again, I'm here for you. On Monday nights, I'm available. And then for all the coaching students, I will see you guys tomorrow at our mastermind and looking forward to it. And don't forget, just real fast, that sheet is under guides in the Facebook group. The sheet is under guides in the Facebook group. So make sure that you join the Facebook group, click guides. Now for all the students, everything is in Coach Accountable, right? So you can find it all in Coach Accountable. But if non-students, we made that sheet up for even non-students. You can go into guides and you can download that. Okay. All right. Okay, good. I appreciate everything. And I will see you guys at the next session. All right. And I look forward to talking to everybody interested in Storage Nerds. I'll talk to you guys this week. Okay. Take care.
Thank you for joining us for this episode of Storage Nerds. Hope this informative conversation inspired you to go out there and jump into this highly profitable business venture that people rarely talk about. Get more tips on storage space investing at www.stacyrossetti.com. Don't forget to subscribe to the show and leave a rating. Together, let's build that thriving passive income one storage space at a time. Until next time.